Say what?
Say what? Say what?
Welcome to Say What, the Energy Ogre podcast, where our specialty is lowering your light bill. But we also offer bite-sized education and financial tips for busy people who want to find overall better solutions to living a brighter life. Welcome to the latest edition of Say What? I'm your host, Laura Thornquist, and here with me is, of course, my co-host, Julie Williams. And if you're watching us, we didn't plan this.
I know. It's pretty amazing.
Ladies in red.
It's very exciting. It just felt like Power Day.
It did feel like Power Day. Well, as always, we are always thrilled to have you here with us. Now, here's what we're going to talk about. Recently, an FCC survey indicated that over 30 million Americans have experienced bill shock, or a sudden and unexpected increase in monthly bills that is not caused by a change in service plans. Now, bill shock can occur for a number of reasons, of course, and unclear or misleading advertising, unanticipated charges, you get the idea. I mean, it can happen to the best of us. It really can. You're online, you're searching for a new rate, you're scanning through several of those advertised plans, and then you select the plan that you think is the cheapest. Now, fast forward to the unpleasant surprise of you receiving your first bill. You know, that shiny, attractive kilowatt hour rate that you found advertised online is not actually the rate reflected on that bill. In fact, it's 2 to 3 times more expensive than the advertised price. Well, you can't help but feel a little bit duped.
Right, exactly. Right? And I mean, with many electricity providers, they spend millions of dollars on advertising to make their most expensive plans appear to be the most attractive rate. But more of us are becoming aware of the fact that you can't take a lot of brand advertising at face value. And of course, with alluring offers like gift cards or smart home devices, promises of free electricity, along with sophisticated marketing techniques, glossy photography, clever photoshopping, misleading wording, and then the deliberate, omission of certain important facts. Avoiding these traps can be difficult even for smart shoppers who know, to be leery of such ploys.
Yeah.
So today we're going to dive into some of the most common traps that electricity providers use to lure Texans who are looking for low electricity prices so that you can avoid feeling duped.
Let's start with the most common and attractive trap, should we say. Free. You've likely seen advertising from an electricity provider with a free gift card attached in exchange for enrolling in an electricity contract, or perhaps even approached by a sales rep at your local grocery store.
Or, they can be at festivals and parks. I mean, they're getting very creative.
And I just walk by, who's your REP? Energy Ogre. Okay, good job. Anyway, no. But they're offering you these really low rates and a free pair of, let's say some expensive headphones. All right, you know how expensive those headphones are. Well, the offers can sound so incredibly tempting, but if you go by the old adage, if it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. You can avoid this trap. Remember, electricity providers want you to sign up for the most profitable rate for the longest amount of time. So most providers offer incentives like these just to disguise higher rates, oftentimes with the extra cost of the plan exceeding the value of the gift card or the incentive. Just like cable, insurance, and cell phone plans, loyal customers can easily fall into the trap of overpaying. We get it. Who wouldn't want that extra $300 or a jersey signed by their favorite professional athlete? Patrick Mahomes. I might for him. I'm just joking. However, in most cases, these plans often have overpriced rates and long-term contracts with huge cancellation fees.
Right, yeah. It can be a very big trap. And let's not forget, the most confusing of all, those time of use offers like free nights and weekends. Those plans, they seem like that they list prices of the kilowatt hour being free within a certain amount of time frames, like after 7 p.m., say, or, from this time on
weekends.
Friday. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. But the energy charges for the non-free periods are so much higher than standard electricity plans. So, for example, currently in Texas, there are free energy plans with energy charges that can get up to 17.2 cents per kilowatt hour. And that's not including the delivery fees from the distribution company. So in total, that's a minimum of over 5 cents higher than the average state average, and then 11 cents higher than what was currently available to your average Energy Ogre member. So with timed plans like these, even though you won't pay an energy charge during those free periods, the nights, the weekends.
Oh, you're getting it free.
Yeah. You're ultimately, though, paying a lot more for the electricity that you use for the rest of the week. And even if you're really smart about it and you move your regular chores and your high use activities to those designated free periods, you will not be able to adjust your usage enough to outweigh those higher costs outside of the free periods. Most people end up paying 2 to 3 times more for an electricity in a month than they would have on a regular flat rate plan. And that was before we all moved, this expansion of people working from home, school from home, which has just greatly increased our electricity during the average weekday for so many people. So, needless to say, a free nights and weekend plan is definitely not delivering savings for anybody in that situation.
In recent years, the Public Utility Commission of Texas created Power to Choose, which is a website where electricity providers advertise their current rates. Now, technically, the providers have to reveal all of the charges included in each plan on their electricity facts label, which is basically the fine print of the plan. But the information that's most boldly displayed on Power to Choose is the average rate per kilowatt hour someone might pay at exactly 500, 1,000, and 2,000 kilowatt hours per month. Now, in most cases, these offers actually offer curves, which means the price is almost always different for each kilowatt hour of consumption. There might also be a minimum usage fee or bill credits that would need to be taken into consideration when calculating your rate. And providers can get really, really crafty when structuring these rates. That's their job. Oftentimes, the bill of credits or bill credits and breakpoints happen at, get this, exactly 500, exactly 1,000, or exactly 2,000 kilowatts. Now, that results in a low point at those price curves. This all adds up to lower than realistically obtainable rates, meaning you would have to literally use exactly, you get it, 500, 1,000, or 2,000 kilowatt hours to get the rate advertised on the Power to Choose site.
Right. And it's hard to imagine these curves. They don't look like what you'd expect.
No.
And you don't picture the advertised price being the bottom. You think about it that, this is probably very similar to others, but it is amazing how that can fool you. And,
Yes.
We can agree that having access to hundreds of electricity plans is great, being able to see them.
Power of choice, right?
And yeah, it's wonderful, but it's just really not enough because it's practically impossible to guarantee that you've secured the lowest rate without the experience to understand those electricity facts labels, the education about where and how different fees are applied and when they work. And, for some of us, the use of technology is great because it does take a lot of time and energy to break those plans down, unless you happen to have some fancy algorithms that do it for you.
Right?
Yeah. Which luckily for many of us here at Energy Ogre, that's how we choose to manage our electricity. We don't have to worry about the gimmicks or overpaying because honestly, who wants to think about electricity or stress over high energy bills, right? You want to pick the right one and trust it. And we don't want to search through thousands of rates every time and, hope we're selecting the most fair option for us specifically.
Okay. All right. Well, we're known in the electricity industry primarily for making sure Energy Ogre members never overpay for electricity. Now, comparing energy plans actually requires the ability to see what they all have in common. And the good news is guess what? Energy Ogre handles all of this for you. We take over the hassle of vetting out all the gimmicks and unfavorable plans and use our 20 plus years of experience, our industry knowledge, and of course, our great technology to place our members in the lowest available plans, tailor-made to fit their unique usage profile. We all use electricity differently.
Right, yeah.
Of course, we read the fine print, taking into consideration any and all fees. Not to mention, Energy Ogre members also have exclusive access to below-market pricing that is not publicly available. That's a big one. We hope that we were actually able to shed some light and provide you with some insights so that you or your loved ones, you can avoid being duped. With all that said, as always, be cool, stay kind, and do great things because
It's the Ogre way.